All right, so you know how we're always talking about the Gold Seal certification and all the awesome things that come with it?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I've been diving deep into the competencies, and one that really jumped out at me was maintaining project cash flow.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. It's like the foundation of any successful construction project, right?
Exactly.
Sure.
I mean, think about it. Without proper cash flow, everything grinds to a halt.
Yeah.
No materials, no workers, no progress.
And a whole lot of headaches for everyone involved.
For sure. So today, we're going to break down this crucial competency, especially for those of you out there aiming for that Gold Seal certification.
Absolutely. Whether you're managing a small renovation or a massive skyscraper, understanding cash flow is essential.
It's the lifeblood of any project, keeping things moving and everyone, happy.
You got it. Happy workers, happy suppliers, happy clients. Everyone wins.
So let's dive right in. First things first, why is maintaining project cash flow so crucial, and what are we actually talking about here?
All right. Well, at its core, project cash flow is all about the movement of money. It's about ensuring that you have enough funds coming in to cover your expenses and keep the project moving forward.
So it's not just about having a big pile of cash sitting in the bank.
Right. It's about the timing of those funds. You need to have cash on hand when you need it to pay your workers, buy materials, and cover all those other project expenses.
Makes sense. So it's kind of like a balancing act, ensuring that you're always one step ahead of those expenses.
Exactly. And that's where the real skill comes in. It's about forecasting, monitoring, and managing those cash flows effectively.
And when we talk about managing cash flow, what are the key tasks involved? What does that actually look like on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, well, first off, you've got forecasting. This is where you try to predict your income and expenses throughout the entire project lifecycle.
So like looking into the future and trying to figure out how much money you'll need and when you'll need it.
Yeah, pretty much. You'll consider things like the project schedule, material costs, labor rates, and any potential risks that could impact your cash flow.
Right, because things don't always go according to plan, do they?
Never, which is why you need to build in some contingencies, those unexpected costs that can pop up and throw your budget off track.
Like a sudden price hike in lumber or an unforeseen site condition that requires additional work.
Exactly. It's about being prepared for those rainy days.
All right, so we've got forecasting. What comes next in this cash flow management dance?
Well, once the project is underway, you need to keep a close eye on your income and expenses. This is where monitoring comes in.
So basically, making sure that the money is coming in as expected and that you're not overspending.
Precisely. You'll track your invoices, payments, receipts, and all those other financial documents to get a clear picture of your current cash position.
And if you start to see any red flags, any potential shortfalls, you can take action before it becomes a major problem.
Exactly. And that might involve adjusting your budget, negotiating payment terms with clients, or exploring alternative funding options.
Speaking of getting paid, timely billing is crucial, right? I mean, cash flow is all about keeping that money moving.
Absolutely. Sending invoices promptly and accurately is essential. You don't want to be chasing down payments weeks or months after the work is done.
But it's not just about sending invoices. It's about ensuring that those payments are actually made, right?
Right. Which brings us to prompt payment compliance. This is about making sure that everyone working on the project, from subcontractors to suppliers, gets paid fairly and on time.
Because if one piece of the puzzle falls behind, it can create a ripple effect throughout the entire project.
Exactly. And remember, maintaining good relationships with your subcontractors and suppliers is essential. They're the backbone of your project.
And happy subcontractors and suppliers mean a smoother, more efficient project overall. Now, we've all heard horror stories about change orders throwing projects into chaos. How does change order management fit into this cash flow equation?
Change orders. They're a fact of life in construction, but they can definitely wreak havoc on your cash flow if not managed properly.
Because any change to the scope of work can impact the budget and schedule, potentially leading to cost overruns and delays.
Exactly. So it's crucial to document every single change order, get all parties to sign off on it, and adjust your budget and cash flow projections accordingly.
And sometimes you might even have to renegotiate payment terms with the client if the change orders significantly impact the overall project cost.
Right. It's all about communication and transparency, keeping everyone informed and on the same page.
Now, all of this sounds great in theory, but how do we actually see these concepts play out in the real world? Let's talk about those practical applications.
Okay, well, think about standard contracts like the CCDC to 2020. These contracts provide a framework for payments and documentation, which is super important for managing cash flow.
So everyone's working from the same playbook, so to speak.
Right. But here's the thing, even within these standard contracts, there are clauses that can impact cash flow if you're not careful.
Oh, interesting. Can you give us an example?
Sure, take Article 10.1.3. It deals with progress payments, which are essentially payments made as the project reaches certain milestones.
Like completing a certain phase of work or reaching a specific floor in a building.
Exactly. But the way these progress payments are structured and calculated can significantly impact your cash flow. You need to be aware of these nuances and factor them into your projections.
Makes sense. Any other real-world examples?
Well, another key concept is item holdback. This is a percentage of each payment that's withheld as a security measure.
It's like a safety net in case a contractor or subcontractor fails to meet their obligations.
Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting. Those holdback percentages can vary depending on where you are in Canada.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. For instance, in Ontario, it's 10%, while in Alberta, it's only 5%. So if you're working on projects in different provinces, you need to be aware of those variations.
That's a great point. It's all about understanding the specific rules and regulations of the jurisdictions you're working in.
Absolutely. And that's why staying up to date with industry standards and best practices is so important.
So let's bring it back to our Gold Seal hopefuls out there. What are the ultimate benefits of mastering this whole cash flow management thing?
Well, first and foremost, it ensures project continuity. No one wants to see a project stall because of money problems.
Right, that's a nightmare scenario for everyone involved.
It also minimizes risk. By managing cash flow effectively, you're reducing the chances of financial penalties, disputes, and all those other stressful situations.
And let's not forget about protecting profitability.
Yeah,
A healthy cash flow means a healthy bottom line for the contractor.
exactly. It's about ensuring that everyone benefits from a successful project.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into maintaining project cash flow, I have one final question for you. If you were managing a major construction project, what would be your top priority for ensuring healthy cash flow?
That's a great question. I'd say fostering a culture of financial awareness across the entire project team is absolutely crucial.
So it's not just the project manager's responsibility, it's everyone's responsibility.
Exactly. From the site supervisor to the administrative staff, everyone needs to understand the importance of cash flow and their role in maintaining it.
I love that. It's about teamwork, communication, and shared responsibility. Well, that's a wrap for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Always a pleasure. Until next time.